Robert Pattinson, or when Jay-Z admitted to stepping out on his wife Beyonce, or the countless Kardashian love triangles. Celebrities aren't the only ones being unfaithful to their significant others. Statistics show that 20% of married men and 13% of married women admit that they engage in sexual activity with someone else outside their marriage. Infidelity rises as people age. More women cheat in their 60s, believe it or not, 16%. Than any other time in their life. The highest rate of infidelity among men is seen of those in their 70s, with 26% of men in this age group having sex outside their marriage. It's no surprise that infidelity often leads to marital conflict, divorce, and broken families. Have you ever wondered what makes some people cheat on their significant other? It all lies in the brain. Here are 4 brain-based reasons why some people stray. But before jumping into these reasons, it's important to get to know the neurochemicals involved in this process of falling in love. The neurochemicals of love and lust. So Mother Nature formulated a very powerful concoction when she created the potion of chemicals involved with infatuation. Romantic love and infatuation are not so much an emotion as they are motivational drives. They are part of the brain's reward system, and these feelings intensify to compel lovers to seek mating partners. The chemicals that stimulate the motivation and drive system in the brain are the neurotransmitters. We have epinephrine, we have dopamine, we have serotonin, and we also have PEA, which is phenylalanine. I can never say it. So I'm gonna tell you a better version of these chemicals. Epinephrine causes an adrenaline rush that makes your heart beat faster, your blood pressure rise, and your breathing quicken. Dopamine is associated with pleasure, motivation, and concentration. It has been shown to work in the reward system of the brain. High levels of dopamine are associated with attraction and feeling sexy. Serotonin is known as the feel-good neurotransmitter, and it drops dramatically during periods of new love. This is linked to the obsessiveness people tend to feel when they can't stop thinking about their partner. PEA is an adrenaline-like substance that speeds up the flow of information between the nerve cells and is triggered in the process of attraction to help us pay attention to those love feelings. I know, it's a lot. PEA is known as the love molecule. Because it is what initiates the flood of chemicals into the brain, along with norepinephrine and dopamine, to create the feelings of euphoria and infatuation when we are highly attracted to someone. And it's at its highest, like in that honeymoon stage when you first start dating, So when new love fades, getting addicted to infatuation, for those of us who have had that wonderful experience of falling in love and being infatuated with someone, we also know that this amazing high and trance-like bliss does not last forever. We either progress into deeper love and commitment or make the decision to break apart and detach. Neuroscientists have determined that after a period of anywhere between 6 months and 2 years, the brain downshifts into its response and the production of stimulating chemicals and levels of it's been a long day. Neurotransmitters like PEA start to drop off too. It is the body's innate wisdom to turn down the volume because it cannot maintain the lust crazed state that we stay in forever, or people would eventually collapse with exhaustion. Interesting. Many couple therapists note that a lot of the unnecessary divorces and relationship breakups can occur during this time because people mistake the lack of intensity and euphoria as a sign that they have fallen out of love. And I know people get bored or whatever. You're not out of love. It's just them chemicals have dropped. That's why it's so important to keep things exciting and sexy for your significant other, because it helps keep that normal flow. For some people, the withdrawal from the chemical of infatuation can drive them to look for other sex partners to try to recreate that high. This is similar to the process seen in substance abuse. In some individuals, the need to feel that rush of new love keeps them seeking out extramarital affairs. Maybe that answers a lot of questions. So, it's still selfish as hell, but every relationship starts at its high, and eventually it deems down, and then you'll have more periods of in between, but you're not out of love. But some people are so addicted to that feeling, that's why they go and cheat and find other partners, or they're just selfish bastards. So another reason is when their self-control short circuits. Problems in the brain's self-control network can also lead a person to cheat on their significant other. The self-control circuit is sort of like a balancing act between the brain regions. It's in your deep limbic system, and it motivates you to seek out pleasurable activities in other regions. In your prefrontal cortex, that will make you think twice about engaging in risky behavior, such as extramarital affairs. It pretty much stops you and makes you think about your significant other and the consequences. When the self-control circuit is balanced, it gives you an adequate impulse control to stop you from having an affair with a coworker or with your significant other's best friend. However, when the prefrontal cortex, the PFC, is low in activity, it can create an imbalance that causes you to give into your impulsive desires without thinking about the consequences. Brain imaging studies show that people with low activity in the PFC are more likely to get divorced, end up alone, and just have toxic relationship after toxic relationship, even when they have a good thing. Low activity in the PFC is a hallmark of ADD or ADHD. It's usually, it's associated with ADHD. And a survey found that 39% of men and 40% of women with this condition had at least one physical affair, much higher numbers than in general population. There's also the testosterone factor. The neurohormone testosterone may also have something to do with the man's likelihood of seeking a sexual partner outside of the relationship. A 2019 study found that men with high testosterone levels were more likely to have extramarital affairs than men with lower levels. Testosterone is involved in a man's mood, motivation, sexuality. High levels are associated with lower empathy and a high sex drive. So they cheat and they don't feel bad about it, which could be, that's the perfect prescription for an affair. Getting divorced, losing half your net worth, losing constant contact with your child, and losing what possibly is the love of your life and the person that you were meant to be with and would elevate the highest with. The last reason is unfaithful brains are different. Brain imaging studies have found that the brains of men who are monogamous differ from those of men who cheat. Another study in 2017 that I found, when you looked at, they had a study where they had men look at romantic images, couples holding hands or gazing into each other's eyes, for example, and the brain activation differed between the faithful and unfaithful ones. The research indicated that monogamous men showed more reward-related neuroactivity when viewing romantic pictures compared to non-monogamous men. If you want to stay in a committed relationship, it's a good idea to enhance your overall brain health, strengthen your PFC, think lots of physical exercise, green tea, and Rhodula, Google it, and optimize your hormone levels. It could help you and your partner stay faithful to each other. I have always believed that it was a character defect, and I will stand up right now and say that I am wrong, because I had to look into this, as it's something that I just recently went through. Not recent, but yeah, kind of recent. And I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand, because I was taught growing up that you, as a woman, need to take care of your man in every area. And one of the needs of a man is sex, and making sure that need was met, as far as, and the rest of them as well. Being a good woman or a good man, it did nothing. It did nothing. The person who cheated, it's something with them. It is. They'll blame you. And they'll try and rationalize it, and they'll act like they're like unaffected, and it doesn't like upset them that they're losing everything. It's their brain chemistry. Their brains are kind of fucked up. Like, I don't mean to say it like that, but it is. And now with me understanding that, I mean, it does just go back to there's a root cause. And it could be other things as well. Like, you know, most of us grew up not knowing what real love was. We watched our parents. They didn't know. They couldn't teach us because they didn't even know, you know. And I know there's a lot of you in there that's here that's said, well, I didn't know what love was until I met such and such, because we give love to the best of the knowledge that we understand it. So coming from dysfunctional backgrounds and you know, parents with infidelity issues, or just being in relationships in the past it's always like, you know, cheating has always been committed in. Like, how are you supposed to know what real love is if you've never experienced it or understood it that way? You know, we can only do so. I try and look at the side of other people and maybe what, you know, see their point of view before quickly assuming. But I just thought it was important to share this video because cheating is such a, I mean, it's normalized. I don't think I've met one faithful person yet, you know, like, and I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, yeah. And I personally am not a cheater. I would rather just leave. I can't do that. I can't juggle any of that because I'll get caught so quick, you know. Besides, I have a conscience, you know what I mean? And I like to just devote myself to one person. And, you know, even the process after like a breakup, like it takes me a while, longer than the normal person. And I can't even think about, you know, that, you know, so, and I'm about to be 40, unmarried. My, you know, the relationship I was in, it just failed because of cheating, continuous cheating. And cheating, let me make something clear on cheating. Cheating is not